Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, and a hey now, and a hey now. Welcome to a brand new edition of the Line Talk 995. Talk 995.com. Andrew McLean, who.com. Glad you are all here today, as it is a big day. You know, and I got to be honest, I felt like everything I did and everything I talked about yesterday just kind of just washed away. And now I've got to reset. There's a whole new set of circumstances today from what there were yesterday. As we planned on peace talks, and then we didn't plan on peace talks, and then we went back and forth, and then we delayed the trip, and then we didn't know what was going to happen. And where it currently stands, as you probably know by now, is we have simply extended a ceasefire for 3 to 5 days, which I kind of like the unpredictability of that. I like the fact that we're like, yeah, it might be 3, might be 5. Who knows? I guess you'll just find out when it happens. Not that big of a deal, although I am ready for some action because I think it's clear that the people that are in charge or overruling those decision makers that they're not looking for any sort of deal. I'm pretty sure the vibe I'm getting from these individuals is that they want to, and this is actually what they said. They want to go back to war, and I'm like, I don't know if you remember what the war was like before the ceasefire, but it wasn't really a war. It was just like us kind of beating up on you. And I don't understand why you think that's what you want, but you know, one way or another, I assume that's going to happen because I'll tell you right now, Donald Trump is ready to get out of this situation. The Trump administration, probably as a whole, but Donald Trump in particular, is ready to get out from under this and get back to fully concentrating on the issues, the day-to-day issues here in America. Not to say that he's not, but, you know, it's a little easier when you don't have this pesky side quest going on over in the Middle East. So I guess we'll see in the next 72 hours. I gotta think. I mean, at least this would be my strategy. I'd be like, listen, I give you 3 to 5 days, make them think it's 5, but then start bombing in 3. That's where I'd go. I would start targeting. I would even start targeting bridges and power plants. I'd even put a bridge and power plant day on hold for a little bit, and I would target every known IRGC location possible and just start bombing the ish out of them. Just every single one of them. And just see what happens. And then do that and then ask, hey, you guys ready to negotiate? See what they say, and then move on from there. But anyway, we'll get into all that. We've got tons of stuff to talk about today on this. It's Wednesday. It's already Wednesday, man. This week's going by kind of fast. I did walk in here to barbecue, and there was like barbecue, and there was a whole spread out here on the desk, which I'm not surprised by with the morning show. But they offered me some ribs. I'm like, I'm not eating ribs at 10 o'clock in the morning. Are y'all crazy? I can't eat anything at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll be done for, bro. I can't eat anything. I made that mistake yesterday, as a matter of fact. I went home, and I guess I don't know what I did. I remember going home, and I was like, kind of sitting there. I'm like, man, I'm hungry. I think I'm going to eat something. Which y'all know me, I don't eat during the day, so that was bad news bears. And sure enough, man, I grabbed a bag of Gardettos and I started mowing them down. And next thing you know, I'm dipping them in like barbecue dip, and it was just it all spiraled from there. It didn't turn out good. I started eating like peanut butter pretzels, and then I was passed out by 5 o'clock and literally fell asleep. And so you'll see why I don't eat during the day. Like it just my body doesn't work that way. My body's on a it's on a clock where I eat once a day, and when I take that first bite of food, then I've got to just get all of my calories in, and I can't physically stop myself. It's crazy. It's crazy how that works. All right, hey now roll call. Let's go and see who we got today on the early birds. We've got Bo and Kevin. We got Ron in Texas. We got E. We got Scott. We got Mark and Kim. We got Rusty. And in the number one spot today, reclaiming his title, is none other than the Bubba Rumble. Congratulations, buddy. There you go. Leslie at number 2, Neil at number 3. Then you got Carrie, Tommy, Grumpy Old Goat, Tracy, Jen, Jonah, Cherry, Jay, James, Patty with the J's, AJ, Michael, Ilya, Craig. Hey now, everybody. There's Hippie with the J's. Look at y'all coming in. Hey now, and hey now. Thank you for hanging out with us. Bubba, send us that song, buddy, and we'll get you on track. We'll get you on track. I got a ton of stuff to do after the show today, by the way. I've got my normal man do stuff. And then I really need to go get the oil changed in my car and my wife's car. Both of them need to be washed. I probably need to get a haircut. Like, oh, it's gonna be so busy. And then tomorrow's like bathroom remodeling day, so it's gonna be a week for me. I'm not actually coming up here and doing the show as a break. There's gonna be a break for me today. So let's enjoy our 4-hour break, shall we? Are y'all ready for that? I'm going to do this. I'll do this when we get on the other side. And I really hate to start the show this way because I kind of did it yesterday as well, updating that shooting out of Louisiana. But we've got another tragedy involving a kid out of Piedmont right here in Alabama this time. I'll give you the details on that real tragedy, man. Very, very sad. I'll give that to you when we get back. If you want to get in on the show, 205-545-9950. That's 545-9950. Kicking off the line right after this. All right, so I waited too long on that last break, so I'll get you next break, Bubba. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, buddy. He always sends in the best songs. The best songs. All right, you want to get in 205-545-9950. Y'all know the drill. So hook it up. Hook it up. Let's again, I want to start off with this. This is a local story, obviously, and it's about a 10-year-old girl that was found stabbed to death inside her home just minutes after a missing report was filed, and a juvenile has been charged with her murder. It says 10-year-old girl was found dead inside a residence in Piedmont, Alabama, late Friday night, just minutes after her family reported her missing. Another juvenile has been taken into custody and charged with the murder of child Alessana Bigby. Piedmont Police Department officers responded to a call about a missing child shortly before 11 p.m. They arrived at the home and tragically discovered Catherine inside less than an hour later. On Tuesday, it was reported that the little girl was stabbed to death. According to Fox 6, Calhoun County Coroner Pat Brown says Catherine Alessana Bigby was stabbed multiple times. Authorities responded to Bigby's home Friday night just before 11 p.m. The chief says his department got a call about a missing child. Officers responded to the home in the Asbury Church area where they say they found Bigby inside the home. The chief said first responders treated her at the scene. She was then taken to a hospital and later pronounced dead. Johnson says another juvenile was taken into custody and is being charged with her murder. Johnson said when the parents were alerted by some noise and they got up to see what the noise was, the child wasn't in the bedroom, and that's what led to the missing persons call. I couldn't imagine coming home to some news like that. You know, it would just break my heart, and I feel for the family that's going through what they're going through right now, and we're praying for them. That's Adrian Fitton of Piedmont. Piedmont Police Chief Nathan Johnson addressed the incident in a statement saying officers tragically discovered the deceased juvenile inside the home. Following a swift investigation, another juvenile was taken into custody and formally charged with the murder. Due to the ages of both the victims and the suspect, authorities have withheld additional details, including the suspect's name, age, gender, and any relationship with Catherine. Blake Trammell, who is in a relationship with Catherine's mother, shared a post on Facebook saying, "Our family has been torn to pieces and we have lost the most amazing, sweetest little girl. She was a light in any room she walked into. I cannot express the pain, guilt, and emptiness that has come from all of this. We don't have answers, only more questions." So they've put up a GoFundMe and all of that stuff, man. That's just a sad, sad story. And we obviously don't know what happened there. We don't know if that juvenile that committed this act is a sibling or a kid that lives in the house or a kid that lives nearby or what, but just bad situation out of Piedmont, which I hate to see, man. Just awful stuff. Richard, the cop's on the line. Let me get Richard. What's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy. Two things real quick. One, I talked to Bird on text a while ago. Let everybody know they're doing his dad's viewing today.
Mm-hmm.
And two, if you'll check the text line, I sent you a screenshot of a coupon that's good for the month of April from Express for $26 off a standard oil change.
Dang.
I get them every month. Every month on their website, they'll post another one, and I'll screenshot it. It's got a code on there, so take a picture of it with your phone. And when you go in, tell them you got a coupon, and go to cash out, give them that YSM number that's on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting my oil changes for $31.77 a time right now.
Dang, that's pretty good, man. Look at them.
Well, I'm doing it every 2 weeks anyway because I drive so much now.
Right.
I'm driving about 6,000 miles a month.
That's crazy. You do two oil changes a month?
Yeah, every 3,000 miles. I've been to Huntsville twice. So I took a guy from Birmingham to Huntsville. His girlfriend abandoned him the other day on Sunday. After Morgan Wallen, they had a little drunk, I'm hungover fight. She drove off and left him.
Dang.
And then I did a medical trip up there and back yesterday for a lady.
What was the story with the guy that got kicked out by his girlfriend? What all did he say?
Well, I asked him straight in the car. I said, "Why are you Ubering to Huntsville?" He goes, "Well, we came down and stayed here in Homewood and went to Morgan Wallen. We both woke up hungover and grumpy, and we were hunting a place to eat, so she was criticizing how I was driving her car, and I got out to go in Big Bad Breakfast to get us a table, and she drove off and left me."
That's awful. That's pretty bad when it's the day after the concert. Like, it's not like, I could see it happen during the concert, like when you're leaving the concert and both people are drunk, but like to do it the next morning, that's extremely tragic.
Well, I said, I got a couple questions. One, are y'all married? No. Two, does she live with you? No. Three, does she have a key to your place? No. I said, good, relationship's over.
Yeah. Oh, I'd break up with her. There's no doubt.
It cost him a couple $100 for me to take him to Huntsville.
Yeah, it's time to break up with that one, Coles.
And then I found his phone the next morning dead the back of my car. So I can't even contact him and give him his iPhone back.
Oh,
I've got it in my console now.
So his girlfriend left him and he lost his phone. Dang.
Got my console right here now looking at it.
So did you just find it today? Like, have you been able to charge it and see if anybody calls?
No, well, the battery's dead.
But you can't charge it?
No, I hadn't tried that. I'm waiting for him to contact me through the app.
Oh, I gotcha.
And because that's a $20 return fee, but I'm not driving Huntsville for $20. He's gonna pay to get that phone back.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, that's a long ride. But anyway, just keep yourself in prayer for Bird because they're doing the family viewing today. The feeling I got on the text message was it's gonna be tough for him, but he seems like he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, he's in good spirits, which is good. Which wouldn't have been the case, a couple of years ago. But
he's part of our family, folks, and that makes his family part of our family. So y'all have a good one.
All right, brother. Appreciate the coupon too, cuz $26 off an oil change. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. I'll take that. I should have asked him, does that mean I can use it twice? Because I gotta oil change 2 different cars. I guess you can text me, Richard, and let me know if that's the case. $26 off. Man, my wife's going to be so excited when I come home with a $26 coupon. Come on, Coles. Come on. That's good. That's good. Anyway, coming up next, well, I guess I can preview it real quick. The ceasefire with Iran. All right. Now we talked about this, and I'll admit that I anticipated there was going to be no extension, and whether you consider this an extension or not, I mean, we're talking about 3 to 5 days. Now, it's not like we're talking about 2 weeks. But it is an extension nonetheless, and I didn't expect one. The White House didn't give any indication that they were willing to extend whatsoever. So I thought, there's not going to be an extension, and I was wrong. I'm not afraid to admit that. But what had happened here is that in talking with their counterparts in Pakistan, who were kind of mediating the deal, they came to our officials and basically said, listen, we're over here talking with the Iranians, and they ain't got it together. They ain't got it together enough to even give you an answer. They don't. They're so fractured because you've blown them into oblivion. They don't know who's calling the shots or who's going to be able to even who's authorized to sign this deal or what. They don't know. They don't know. So our suggestion to you, and again, this comes from the Pakistanis, that our suggestion is maybe just extend it a little longer. Let them know y'all need to get your ish together. We'll keep a ceasefire deal in place, and if you'll, figure out who's who and who's going to be making the decisions, we'll go from there. But according to the White House, we're not going to let them do that for long. 3 to 5 days isn't a long time. And the fact that I am surprised about a 3 to 5 day ceasefire I would highly, highly doubt that there's going to be one after that. My opinion. Maybe I end up being wrong, but Trump understands that you can't play this game with Iran, which is stall tactics over and over and over. It's what they've always done. The difference now between their standard stall tactics and what they're looking at this moment is they've actually got a legitimate reason as to why they need a couple more days. And it's because they don't know who's in charge. The clerics, the Ayatollah, the whoever, the normal government officials that would be making these decisions are the ones saying, make a deal, sign the deal, get rid of the nuclear stuff, fine, whatever, just leave us alone. But it's the military, it's the IRGC, it's the commanders that are saying, no, we're not going to do that, which is why we saw 3 boats get attacked in the Strait of Hormuz yesterday. We'll give you all those details as well. A lot going on that side of the world. We'll break it down right after this. I don't know what it is about Bubba Rumple's picks, but I always like them. Something about them. They're different. They're different, and I like them. I even caught myself listening to that last one he picked, which was like Tangerine Man or something. Tangerine Speedo. I don't remember what it was called, but it was good. I was listening to it over the weekend. All right, so Trump extending the ceasefire, Willie, and what does that mean? Well, statement from the president himself. He says, statement from President Donald J. Trump. Based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, not unexpectedly so, and upon the request of Field Marshal Asim Munir and Prime Minister Sharif of Pakistan, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and, in all other respects, remain ready and able, and will therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded one way or the other. Now, in that Truth Social post, which is what we originally saw, it almost sounded like there was, it was kind of this undetermined amount of time that we were putting the ceasefire back on for. And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like the idea of saying, hey, y'all just let us know when you can get it together, because that's kind of what it sounded like. But that's not what it was, because once the details came out of the White House, they cleared it up and said, hey, we are going to make this a 3 to 5 day deal. You got 3 to 5 days. I mean, it should be your priority. You can accomplish a lot of things in 3 to 5 days. And getting your boys together and figuring out what y'all want to do, I think 3 to 5 days is plenty enough time. So get to it. Get to it. And so that's where we're at. And now the problem that is facing the problem that's facing the IRGC leaders and their willingness to move on this issue is, one, they're very on tough talk, but two, the way they view this. They have come out and said that they view this ceasefire as being violated by the United States in a way that the blockade violates the ceasefire. They say because the U.S. has been stopping ships and even in one case, shooting and boarding a ship that crossed through the blockade, that violates the ceasefire. And from what we understand, that has nothing to do with the ceasefire. It's not part of the agreement, just like Lebanon's not part of the agreement. The blockade is a standalone gimmick that's just saying this is part of what we're doing. And once the ceasefire is lifted, that will be lifted. So where's the confusion? Now, they're just making excuses, obviously. But they are saying, according to reports from the IRGC, that they're ready to go. But they're ready to go back at it. And if that's the case, I mean, best of luck to them. According to the Institute for the Study of War on X, Iranian officials and IRGC-affiliated media are signaling readiness for the imminent resumption of war. So if the IRC they seemingly want war with Donald Trump to resume, it sounds like the moderates and the politicians and the clerics are being overruled. The IRGC is literally going to drag their entire country into doom if this is the case. So the clerics and the moderates and the politicians sounds like they need to figure out a way to negotiate within their own country. And that's essentially the ultimatum that's being laid out here. It's like, hey, y'all negotiate within your own deal, within your own country, with your own people, and then you can negotiate with us because y'all got to figure out what y'all want to do before you'll even come to the table with Vice President J.D. Vance and the rest of the squad. 3 to 5 days. In the meantime, and I don't know if there's going to be any backlash to this or not, but Iran has reportedly attacked 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz, saying that it seized 2 of them after the extension of the ceasefire. I don't know. I don't remember where these ships were from, but they seem to be, according to the tracker, I believe they were tracking right along the Iranian coast, and who knows if I don't know. I don't know what their line of thinking was in attacking these ships, but they claim they're ready. Let's go. They've even posted. There's a lot of posts and a lot of media reports happening coming out of Iran. One of which said that they are posting images of the underwater internet cables that they are threatening to sever, I guess, in some way to disrupt internet usage and banking institutions all throughout the Gulf region with their neighboring Gulf states. And, is it talk? Is it bolstering? I don't know. Probably, if I had to guess. I can't imagine they would think it would be a good idea to go further with their aggression with their very own neighbors, even though their neighbors are no longer on their side. Who knows, man? Iran's unpredictable right now, man. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they're going to do. But I do feel like Donald Trump still has this under control. A lot of people argue that he doesn't. But I do feel like these guys know exactly what they're doing. And within the next 3 to 5 days, which will, be sometime this weekend, we'll see what happens. We may have to get back to bombing. And if we do, so be it. Again, I said at the beginning of the show, what we should be doing is targeting these IRGC locations. We know where they're at. We probably know where these individuals are hiding. We could take them out between U.S. and Israeli intelligence. We could likely take them out very easily. Go ahead and do that. And then go back to the moderates. Go back to the politicians and say, hey, we solved your problem. Are you guys ready to cut a deal? We're going to send somebody in there. We're going to get the nuclear material. We're going to get the uranium out of there. And then all is well. We can all go back to living our lives, and you guys can rebuild whatever we messed up. Sorry. It's part of doing business. But we'll see. We'll see. That'll be unfolding throughout the day. I mean, this is a story that's going to continue to unfold as time goes along. Also watching the Democrats, and John Fetterman made this point, by the way. Watching the Democrats cheer on Iran has got to be one of the most bizarre things that I think I've ever seen. They are literally cheering on. I remember the thing I told you about Chris Murphy yesterday, tweeting out awesome to a false report that was saying 23 Iranian ships made it through the blockade. I think it was 23 or 26, whatever. Completely untrue, complete propaganda, but just because it's on the internet and people read it, some people assume it's true. He retweets that with the word awesome. Awesome. 26 was the number. Yeah, it says at least 26 Iranian Shadow Fleet vessels bypassed the U.S. blockade. Chris Murphy, a sitting United States senator, said awesome. Awesome. And this is sanctioned tankers. This is sanctioned oil. This is not like, we're just being bullies and not letting this stuff come through. Like, this stuff is sanctioned, and it's been sanctioned. Chris Murphy says, awesome. And then Chris Murphy comes back because he catches a bunch of heat, obviously. It says, okay, Twitter, I can't believe I need to clarify this, but obviously Trump's bungled mismanagement of this war is not awesome. As I have said a million times here, it's a disaster and he should end the war immediately. My tweet was something called sarcasm. Listen, whether it was sarcasm or not, your actions before the tweet brought us to the assumption that you were being serious. That's what you need to worry about. You don't need to worry about whether or not somebody's misinterpreting what you're putting on Twitter in the moment. You need to be worried about why people jump to that conclusion. And it's because you, as well as the rest of the Democrats, act as if you're cheering for Iran. We've been watching it for weeks on end. It's not anything new. So if you post awesome, we have to assume that you're actually thinking it's awesome. But he's like, wow, it's just sarcasm. Nobody gets sarcasm anymore. Remember what I said yesterday about the left and comedy? Like they don't do comedy. They don't do comedy. They don't do sarcasm. They don't do funny. They're not happy people. Like they're just miserable. Like you talk, there's no sarcasm. He was being serious. Yeah, he actually thought that was awesome, no matter what he says. No need to believe him. No need to believe the words that are coming out of his mouth. 205-545-9950. More than line coming up right after this. 205-545-9950. Noto Roofing bringing you this part of the show. NotoRoofing.com, NotoRoofing.com. Our roofing guys looking to take care of you. They got you covered, man. All you got to do is reach out to them, get that free roof inspection, complimentary roof tune-up. Chris and the team over there, Sammy and Matt, all of them, dude. Great guys running a great company and a local company at that, man. So many of these roofing companies get bought up and turn into, just an extension of some big conglomerate, whatever. Not these guys. These guys are local. These guys are right here in Alabama. And whether you're in Tuscaloosa or Anniston or wherever, they'll come out to you, inspect your roof, and give you that complimentary roof tune-up. And if you got any problems, they'll let you know. If that's the case, they'll hook you up if you want them to, and help you file that insurance claim and everything else. So call them at 205-848-2299. There we go. Almost gave you the call-in number. 205-848-2299. And online, NotoRoofing.com. Bubba got a double feature there. He said, I do scientific research on the parameters of what makes good bumper music for Andrew Mandu's Hey Now show, and Tangerine Speedo is a banger, no doubt. That's I haven't really thought about that, but it's kind of the Hey Now roll call is kind of taking on a life of its own. I kind of thought it was cheesy at first, but everybody's gotten really excited about it as we've been doing it for we've been doing it for a while now. We started it soon after John Bird got fired, and then because I think it was a concoction that Steve West and I came up with. And then we started doing it, and it kind of morphed into I don't even think it originally had people picking the song. Well, maybe it did. I don't know. But it's become a thing that, like, people get excited about. And, like, most of the people that are in the running that are trying to get there, like, they have a song picked out every day. The fact that I've got you guys doing research on a song every day just in case you win is pretty crazy. Because there's even some people in the text line that'll send in their Hey Now with their song, which I think is bad luck, by the way, because I've never seen somebody put in their Hey Now with their song ever win. So I wouldn't suggest that as a strategy. I mean, if you want to, be my guest, but it never seems to work. But yeah, man, it's become a whole big thing. So thank you for being a part of it. A part of this magical moment we call the Hey Now roll call. Yeah. Let's see. Let's look at the text line here and see what it says. This one says, Robbie says, why do you believe the blockade will end when the ceasefire ends? Trump loved the blockade. It puts extreme pressure on Iran. Well, one, because we don't want our men and women to be over there just having to sit in the dirty sea over there in the Middle East for longer than we have to, for one. But two, that's kind of what the White House has signaled, is that the blockade is there to provide leverage on getting a deal. And once a deal is reached and we can, and I don't know that the blockade might not come to an end once a deal is signed. I think if the blockade comes to an end, I think it's going to happen when we extract the uranium after a deal is signed. I think everything's going to have to be complete. So I don't know that the blockade's going to be gone anytime soon. But the blockade itself is creating extreme pressure on Iran. I mean, they're like a couple days away from being full capacity on Clark Island. And they're going at that point, because there's two things here. There's one, they can't sell any oil, right? All right. So no oil from Iran is going out, which means no money's coming in. I don't know what they're doing for money. Maybe they're selling pistachios to India or whatever, but they're not. They're losing, hundreds of millions of dollars a day, and they're suffering greatly, which is why the clerics, the moderates, the politicians are begging for a peace deal. But the people with the guns are saying, we don't care. We don't do, we're not economists. We don't care what the economy's doing. We're here to fight and kill people. Okay, so that's the dynamic. But the thing is, so the money's not coming in, but the oil's still pumping, right? So their oil rigs are still going. They're still pumping oil. They're loading it up in the reservoirs on Kharg Island. And once that's full and they've got nowhere to put oil, then they've got to shut the oil wells off. And once you shut those oil wells off, it takes a monumental effort and time, a lot of time, to get those things fired back up and drilling for oil again. So it puts them in a situation where you're not going to be able to sell or pump oil. Then say when the blockade does come off, yeah, you've got this oil on Kharg Island, but once that's dry, you're probably not going to have your drillers, your oil rigs back up and going by the time you sell the rest of your oil. So that's the problem that they're facing, and that's why the economic pressure is really two-sided. Is one, you're not making any money in the immediate future, and also once the blockade's gone, there's going to be an extended period of time where you're not going to be making money again, and it's just going to cause even more problems. And who's to say that the world doesn't even change by the time we find a resolution to this? We've already had, hundreds of ships come to the U.S., come to the Gulf, come to Alaska to get our oil. I mean, what if the blockade lifts, Iran starts to try to sell Kharg Island oil, and everybody's like, you know what? Instead of, we don't really want to take the chances. We're just going to go over to America and get the oil there. Who's to say that that doesn't happen? That would be ideal, by the way. That's the idea of this whole reset and changing the power dynamic in who's controlling the most important global commodity, which is oil, which is energy. If the U.S. is controlling that, then we call all the shots at that point. Not just for Iran, not just for other countries, but at that point for our biggest adversary, which is China, who has heavily relied on Iran for a very long time and is no longer able to do that, at least right now. So it's interesting that the pressure from China has not been able to budge Iran. Maybe China needs to team up with us and take out the IRGC commanders so we can get this thing moving and everybody can win. There were reports that China was even reaching out to Saudi Arabia, asking them to get a deal done. And Saudi Arabia is like, what do you want us to do? It's just not our ceasefire. Like, you're calling the wrong number, cuz. They're calling Qatar being like, hey, can you get this done? And it's like, get what done? We have nothing to do with it. We're just trying to not get bombed by our neighbor. But it's a whole thing. Anyway, I don't even know if I answered your question, buddy. I'm sorry. David says, we need to arm their citizens with, we need to arm their citizens, the citizens in Iran, and together blowtorch all of these hooligan thugs who are threatening the world. I like it. We did try to arm their citizens by sending guns to the Kurds. And just like Donald Trump predicted, the Kurds just kind of kept the guns and never gave it to the citizens of Iran. Trucker Jack says we need to... Oh, that was the same one. Tommy says, the next time I win, I'm going to break the radio. Yeah, I'm waiting for that moment as well. Bubba Rumble, petrodollar in the house. That's right. That's what we're looking for. That would be the official reset across the world.